already know, man, it's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Yes, y'all, and welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. The Radman and J-GILLZ here, as we are each and every Saturday morning, bringing it, telling it like it is. We telling you not what we heard, but what we know here on the Real Deal Sports Show with the Radman and the crew here, broadcasting live from the Rock Palm Brokers studio. Real Deal Sports Show. Welcome, and check out our people over there at Rock Palm Brokers. They got a lot of back-to-school deals started already, so stop on over and check them out at the at Rock Palm Brokers. And this morning we got to go back and revisit J-GILLZ. Welcome back, man. I know you've been on a quick hiatus. Welcome back to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning?
Oh, man, it's always good to be right here where I need to be, man, right back home. You know what I mean? Right here each and every Saturday morning, 8 to 9 a.m. on the Beat 105.5. We talking sports of all sorts, and there's so much to get into because it's just as crazy as it's been in Rochester these last couple of days. It's been just as crazy in sports, so we got a lot to talk about.
We certainly do, and let's start off first with the question of the day. What is the weirdest thing that someone was fired for while on the job? Once again, what is the weirdest thing that someone was fired for while on the job? So you can go to Facebook, YouTube, answer. Please feel free to answer the question, put it in there. So we might be able to talk about it on today's show. So we love to get your answers to that question. What is the weirdest thing that someone was fired for while on the job? Well, that leads us right into Shannon Sharpe. We got to go back, J-GILLZ, and revisit Shannon Sharpe once again. And as the Radman stated months ago when it first went down and Shannon Sharpe put the tape out there on himself, really kind of incriminated his own self with the tape that he put out with him talking that type of talk that he was talking on the phone with the young lady there. Are you surprised the man is fired? Hell no. We knew the guy was going to be fired, man. It was just a matter of time, and then he got the audacity to settle the case. So showing that he done paid out some money to the young girl and her lawyers and everything to sweep this under the rug. Well, Shannon Sharpe, I hope you learned your lesson here. Monique was trying to tell you, stop messing with the young girls and mess around with women around your age group, ones that could throw down in the kitchen and also throw down in the bedroom as well. Right, J-GILLZ? Oh, can't hardly hear you. Can't hear you, J-GILLZ.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you now, J-GILLZ. Yes, what's your response to that?
Yeah, man, Shannon Sharpe, man, he ought to be ashamed of himself, man, if you ask me, honestly. The man, 50-something years old, you know, he was doing this thing on ESPN, getting all that money, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, he just can't put it all together. He out here messing with underage girls, and it seems like everything's toppling over and tumbling down on him. I mean, even just recently, man, you know, he off of ESPN, but now, Radman, he getting sued. He getting sued, him, Chad Johnson, and Shay Media getting sued for talking and allegedly talking to him and commenting and giving false information. You know how you hate a bad journalist, but giving false information on some of these, on a young lady who went and did some crazy, freaky stuff on the Usher concert. You know, I guess they allege that she was a married woman, and turns out she ain't even married. So he got himself in a whole nother lawsuit, man. She's trying to sue him for $20 million. So right now, Shay, he just all over the place, man. He need to just sit down. And, you know, I was just talking to some folks the other day, man. I don't get it. You look at a guy like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey been hosting Family Feud for as long as I can remember, and he always keeping a job. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is about these older men, especially like Shay, but he losing all his jobs, man. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. He got to do better.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is also a comedian, talk show, radio host. He's been on the air for many years, almost like a Tom Joyner in the black community. He's been on for many, many years. And Steve Harvey also a writer. So, you know, he wrote a lot of his jokes. When you're writing and producing and doing things of that nature and doing the research and also researching, you got to have your researchers and research your information. You just can't come on the air and just say any old thing and think that's cool. That's not how you get down in today's media world. And they should have said allegedly or something in regards to the case. So he just can't keep his mouth shut. But I think that money, taking that money from him, I think Shannon Sharpe is learning a lesson. And also that old school black man, white woman stereotyping. Come on, man.
Come on,
where
man.
are you, this 2025, where you coming with that slave master conversation, man?
Right.
I mean, that's what basically what Shannon Sharpe was into. Talking. I mean, come on, man.
You a 50
Ain't
year old.
nobody don't want to hear that.
Black man, white working. You a 50-year-old black man messing with a 20-year-old white girl, man. Come on, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
And then use racial epithets and tones, and the whole thing was sorted. And now you're telling me they him and Ocho having problems over there with their show. It's just that's why you need journalists, people who educated, graduated in the field of journalism, or have some experience in journalism. And Steve Harvey has some experience in journalism, coming from Cleveland, Ohio. He had a lot of many different jobs throughout his career. Steve Harvey is a straight up hustler, does a great job. Nate Burleson does a great job on the NFL Today. I see he got a game show. He's hosting a game show there as well. He's hosting over there on the Kid Channel with the slime and all of that coming down.
Nickelodeon, all of that.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Thank you. He over there at Nickelodeon. I mean, we got some people that are educated. Shannon Sharpe is just not educated. You just can't put any old athlete on the air. We saw what happened with Fox Sports 1 with all those athletes on the air. Not one of them was a single journalist, took journalism classes or anything, or even went back to get remedial work. None of them. LaShawn McCoy, Chase Daniels, James Jones, Emmanuel Ocho, all those cats, man. Come on. At least if you want to get in the journalistic field, do your homework. Do your study, as Mr. Blunt would say. My man, God rest your soul, Mr. James Blunt, always said, do your homework. You're a journalist. You got to do your homework, got to do your research, and you got to research what you're talking about on the airwaves or also in print. And that leads us to picking up Challenger Community News, West New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper, talking about the Pine Grill Reunion on the cover. Yes, it's time for Pine Grill Reunion, y'all. Starting tomorrow in Buffalo, MLK Park. From noon until tomorrow, they got some national recording artists. His sister on tenor sax. I'm looking forward to checking her out. She looked like she could get down on the tenor sax. And then next weekend, Rochester Summer Soul Music Festival. They'll talk about that festival in this week's Challenger Community News. Jeffrey Osborne, that's my mom's favorite artist, especially from the LTD days. She loved her some Jeffrey Osborne. That was her main guy. He was above Luther Van. Luther was a distant second because she had her thing for Jeffrey Osborne, and he will be here next weekend at the baseball stadium. Also, the Rochester West Indian Festival, the Rochester West Indian Festival organization announces CARAFest. CARAFest is next weekend. A lot going on in the area. Pick it up in Challenger Community News. Pick up our Black history going on. The Negroes Fort Massacre on July 22nd, 1816. We talk about the history of our Black troops fighting for our freedom, for what we have here today, J-GILLZ. So pick it up in the Challenger newspaper at most businesses in the community. Go online to Buffchall News, BuffChallNews.com, news.com. You can get it online, or you can pick it up at most businesses in the community here in Rochester, New York. As you over at the public market, stop by Paula's Essentials, pick it up right there. We got a newsstand, a news rack right there at Paula's Essentials in the public market, right across from the Florida Nut House, right there indoors at the Rochester Public Market. You're coming through there, pick you up your Challenger so it catches you up on what's happening, news that you can use, your Health Matters features, and the whole 9 yards, J-GILLZ. J-GILLZ, next up, the feds arrest Gilbert Arenas, a.k.a. Agent Zero, for alleged gambling ring. What did you hear anything about that, J-GILLZ? What's that all about?
Man, so yeah, this is other news, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. As soon as Shannon Sharpe was getting fired, Gilbert Arenas was getting arrested. It was bad. So basically what they're saying is he was having a whole illegal operation out of his house, a gambling rink. He had the women, he had the drinks, he had the food, he had allegedly had the drugs, had all this stuff going on, had all the cash flowing. And it was just not exactly what was supposed to be going on legally. I think Paul Pierce back when he was doing his thing when he got fired. You know what I mean? When he had all that going on. But I guess the folks he was rolling with, and Gilbert Arenas in this case, there were some known guys doing some fraud, and they got. They got. So being that it was Gilbert Arenas' home, he ended up getting arrested. Having this illegal gambling rink going on in there, and that's the story. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Man, another athlete. Man, didn't he the same Gilbert Arenas that brought the guns into the locker room when he played in Washington?
Agent Zero. That's him.
Same cat, man. Oh my gosh, man. Man,
sometimes Chepo just, and that's not going. These guys, they have, great success. You know what I mean? Like a Gilbert Arenas, like a Shannon Sharpe, but they just find themselves in trouble. I just don't understand how some people just, continuously find themselves in trouble. When you have everything going in your favor, some people just need to get an advisor or something because trouble is following some of these athletes. I just don't understand.
Yeah, it does. And it's the same ones happening over and over again. It's the same cats. It's not boy, we got Internet Passport. Like, comment, and subscribe to Real Deal Sports Show. Thank you, Internet Passport. Yes, indeed. Got to like, comment, and subscribe to the show on YouTube. Please do on YouTube. Subscribe to the show, everybody over there. Like, comment, and subscribe. I hope Gilbert Arenas like, comment, and subscribe as well. Because, man, you need to subscribe to something more positive than what's happening. Because, man, here you go again, getting your name where it should not be. And they even said on one of the article I was reading last night, and yes, read articles, people. Read articles with people's name on it. When you see a story with somebody's name on it, chances are it's more legitimate than reading something that doesn't have anybody's name attached to it and thinking it's real. But they were saying that he even had his name engraved on the little carpet that they put on the tables, man, for your dice and
right.
Place your cards. He even had his name on.
Oh my God.
Man, that's very incriminating. If that's allegedly that's what was read in the article, it had his name all in the carpet and all in the paraphernalia that the paper and the felt material that you put on the table. Man, that's really a tough one. So we hope the best, wish the best for Gilbert Arenas with that situation. As the feds then ran up on him, and as Ice-T used to say, man, that ain't a good thing, man. When the feds roll up on you like that, man. Oh my gosh! Already, previously had guns in the locker room and all kinds of nonsense back in the day. So come on, let's get it straight, Gilbert. And now let's really go to the bizarre stuff. And I got to turn it over to you, J-GILLZ, because this is your guy, Christian Wilkinson, former Miami Dolphin. Now former LA Raider. Now since the NFLPA union is all messed up, the Raiders they're gonna try to take $35.5 million of guaranteed money due to Christian Wilkinson. What's this kiss all about, J-GILLZ? What's that all about?
Man, so let's go. All right, so we're gonna start from the top. Boom. No Diddy. So let me tell you this right here. First of all, I feel like Christian Wilkinson deserves his money. He's a heck of an athlete, a heck of a defensive tackle coming out of Clemson. Drafted in the first round of 2019 draft. Had an excellent career with the Miami Dolphins. A phenomenal career. Was able to earn himself $110 million in guaranteed money for over a 5-year contract with the Las Vegas. So definitely when it comes to him being a talent, you have to give him his kudos and credit. He had a foot injury the last 2 years since he signed over with the Vegas, so he wasn't able to play. They end up releasing him due to how he wanted to rehab his toe. With that bad foot and that bad toe, he wasn't able to play. They wanted him to have surgery. He didn't want to have surgery. Boom, he gets released. Move forward. It's alleged that in the release, during this time in Vegas, he had kissed a former teammate on the head, and was I guess the former teammate had filed a sexual harassment claim against him. Now I'm not gonna lie, Christian Wilkins, this the same Christian Wilkins I believe when he got drafted. He did that huge bear hug to Roger Goodell. He's had a lot of incidences with Josh Allen, if you all recall. this is upstate New York. Bills Mafia can recall the claims of Josh Allen had against Christian Wilkins. You know what I mean? Was being a little too touchy on the football field. You know, it's many videos with those two going back at it where Josh Allen is just cursing this dude out. He's cursing him out, going crazy because Christian Wilkins not keeping his hands to himself when he in those piles. So when it comes to Christian Wilkins,
What?
Christian Wilkins definitely got a little reputation. And to me, it's just a little. I mean, hey, I'm not surprised as a Dolphin. I'm not surprised to be hearing this type of behavior coming from Christian Wilkins, although he is a hell of a defensive tackle.
Oh, he's from the Von Miller School of tackling, man, getting down there on the piles and grabbing crotches and everything, grabbing people's private parts, man.
I'm
Come
sure
on.
Bills Mafia can recall Christian Wilkins. They know who that is.
You certainly do, man. Certainly do. But with his foot injury, and he didn't take the surgery, is what I'm hearing. He didn't want the Raiders wanted him to have the surgery. I guess he didn't want to have the foot surgery. He wanted to go through other options and things of that nature. And he basically showed up with where they left him at the end of the season with the same foot problem. So I don't see how they can now say, hey, we can cut you. I think you seem like you should be able to still get your guaranteed money. Baseball players get it. I don't know I don't know why the NFL Players Association is so messed up, man. I mean, they don't seem to be standing behind the players.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago. We know why they messed up. They messed up because they conspiring and getting money from the owners. You know, the owners is running the NFLPA. That's why they so messed up. Everybody's looking at to get themselves the dollar.
Absolutely. Everybody's trying to get paid, but the players. I mean, with the guaranteed contracts, we heard what happened back in February. Then the guy Howe, Lloyd Howe, they had to fire him because he's spending money in the strip club down there in Miami, spending the Players Association money, holding back on the evidence that they have against the owners of the collusion that the owners had in regards to giving out guaranteed contracts. Allegedly, the NFLPA had that information, had them dead to right, and then had the nerve to try to squash it, tried to agree with the NFL owners to squash the information. And now the Raiders, as soon as the NFL, as soon as there's blood in the water, here come the Raiders trying to pull back on a guaranteed contract. How you gonna take a man guaranteed? Guaranteed means guaranteed, right, J-GILLZ?
Absolutely, they gave him that money, and that's why. If we're being completely honest, that's why I like, the financial structure. You can talk all you want to about Chris Greer, the Miami Dolphins and how they do business and, this and that. They can't build a squad. But financially, if you look at the contracts that they structure, giving all that money in the signing bonus, not having to worry about that guaranteed money after, that way you can release a player and, the player, it won't be any grievances or anything like this. Because a lot of the times it's a top-heavy and a top-loaded contract to where you're getting a lot of the money in the signing bonus, and then that first year is guaranteed, and then those 2-3 years afterwards, they're off your books. That way you can release them and not have that financial strap hold. So when you got a team like the Vegas Raiders who really need to, they should have been gave him his money. They waited. Now he's in the middle of that contract, and now they're trying to void out the money because he can't play. And honestly, that's why a lot of people need to look at how the Dolphins do these books, and it's really a wise thing to do if you look at it.
Yeah, and once again, it's teams like the Raiders and teams like the Bengals, teams involved in not paying their players properly. The Bengals still got Trey Hendrickson out. He showed up to camp, and, man, he's one. I mean, this man that led the league in sacks the last 2 years. And then when he was in New Orleans, he was an excellent sacker. New Orleans has not been the same since Trey Hendrickson left. Cam Jordan can't do it by himself down there in New Orleans. And now you see a lot of the Saint players retire, the Honey Badger and guys. So that's a domino effect. When you lose a key guy and your defense is not as strong, the other guy said, hey, man, I done played. The Honey Badger won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. He got him a ring. He don't have to do it no more. He said, I'm done. He announced his retirement from the Saints. And this happens, a dominant. Now Trey Hendricks with the Bengals, and the Bengals trying to go back to being the Bungles. You didn't pay Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates should have got paid. You let him go. You played him 1 year on a 1 year deal. As soon as that deal was over, Jesse Bates signed with the Atlanta Falcons. And guess what? He made the Pro Bowl, not only with the Cincinnati Bengals, but as soon as he went to Atlanta, he done made the Pro Bowl with them. And he's made their secondary look totally different. A.J. Terrell, one of the highest paid cornerback in the National Football League, is in that secondary on the corner, shutdown corner for the Atlanta Falcons. And now you got the Falcons starting to move with getting their defense in order. They got their defensive secondary in order. But now, Cincinnati Bengals, you let talent like that out the door, and now you look like you're ready to let Ted Hendrickson out the door as well. And it just shows you when teams cheap. The man, Paul Brown, Mike Brown, all of them cheap. You heard how and then he used then he just barely got the draft pick in, and then he used the analogy, well, if the guy go to jail, he's useless for playing for us. Why should we give him all this guaranteed money? And if he go to jail, what do you mean if he go to jail? This man ain't never had no problem with the law, J-GILLZ. Why would you be using the analogy about the criminal justice system, J-GILLZ? Yeah, that don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And you're right. This one of the only teams that got their players practicing under a Interstate 3 or whatever.
Right.
They operating under a highway, man. Stop it.
Right. If you go to Cincinnati, their bubble, it's a community bubble. Other people use that same facility. They don't have their own private practice facility. I mean, you can become a member of that gym that has that owns the bubble, and they share it with the Cincinnati Bengals. It's just insane, man.
And Radman, before we move on, can we talk about another cheap owner? And he ain't really cheap, but he treating this player like a cheapskate, man. Jerry Jones, man.
Oh.
How you not gonna pay Micah Parsons, the best player on your football team? Yet you traded for guys like George Pickens. You giving Dak all this guaranteed money, CD Lamb getting the bag, but yet the best player on your team, the only player to have 12 plus sacks in his first 4 years, just him and the one more person, I forgot his name, but come on, man, this is a generational talent, and now you got Micah Parsons requesting a trade, right, man? That's breaking news, because anywhere he goes, trust me, that defense is going to get turned around immediately. So, I mean, I just don't understand how Jerry Jones is playing hardball with a guy like Micah Parsons, knowing good and well he's the backbone of that defense. I don't understand it.
And then had a nerve to say he had a personal conversation with him out there on the field or somewhere in the building somewhere. He personally spoke to Micah Parsons and told the media everything all right, Micah. How you going to have a personal conversation with him? And so you ain't even talked to his agent, the man that represents him. You talking to the dude, he might be sweating them ran some laps or something, did some wind sprints. Right. And you out there talking about you on the field. Man, that's some bull, man. I mean, there's something wrong. I think Jerry Jones, they need to check him out, man. I think he's slipping.
I hope it works out
a lot, man.
And we know where he's from, man. Micah Parsons is from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, just a skip, hop, and a jump away from Philly. Man, you mean to tell me that he can't hold out? I ain't saying that he's going to get traded to Philly, but all I know is he would love to play in Philly. So I'm just saying, man, he better be careful, man, because wherever he gets traded to, or wherever, if he gets released or whatever happens, you don't want that to bite you. And him ending up in Philly, because, man, could you imagine just how that would look? Oh, my God.
And I'm Brandon Bean. I'm on the phone with AJ Espinoza and a couple other cats, man, and our number one draft pick for next season, man. You could take our number one guy for next season, man.
Might need two. Might give up two number ones. And that's how you're gonna have to get it done. But man, yeah, I can imagine.
If I'm the Bills, I'm on the phone right now, man. Talking
to Myles Garrett was commanding in trade talks. So it's only right.
I agree with you. You never should let it get this far into the. I mean, that man should, by right, he should have been taken care of even last season, before the season even ended, let alone the off season. And now here you is trying to do the Mike Brown move and talk about.
To me, it's like, all right, don't go and trade for a guy in George Pickens and pay George Pickens before you pay. Come on, man, that don't make sense.
Yeah, that's insulting. You're right. They didn't pay them. Come on, man. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And then you gave Dak all that money. I didn't think Dak was worth all of that money either. I thought you could get a bridge quarterback and get you somebody or Dak on play for less. I wouldn't have paid him all of that money you paying Dak Prescott, because he's definitely not. I don't think one of the top deserving quarterbacks in the National Football League of a big payday. In our next segment, before we get into the Buffalo Bills and get you Bills fans up to date on what's happening, the next segment is brought to you by the award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Call 585-360-004. Make sure you check her out. Make sure she gets you right on what you need. If she helped the Radman and the crew up here on the radio, help us, all of us, save a hell of a lot of money, I guarantee you, Miriam Rivera help you save a hell of a lot of money. Check her out down there. Sorry about that Tent City fire over there and all those businesses around there. If you need insurance and don't happy with your insurance, she's right down the street at 1038 Lyle Avenue. Check out Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Farmers Insurance Agency, guaranteed to save a hell of a lot of money. And J-GILLZ, who's the other sponsor?
And of course, we got to take it to Advantage Federal Credit Union, AdvantageFCU.org, auto loans, Visa cards, student checking accounts, and much more. Students started right now. They got some great interest rates right now in their student checking accounts. You know, it's really phenomenal. School year is about to start. It's almost back to school time. So won't you start by getting that credit right, starting up a nice account, saving up for prime, saving up for your vehicle, your first car. So Advantage Federal Credit Union, y'all.
Absolutely. And they got auto loans starting at 4.99% right now. And they're starting at 4.99%, not 8.99, not 10 or 11, 4.99. Some joker was telling me, "Oh, I got 11%." I said, "All right, you can keep your 11%, man. All right, man. That's what you got. All right, I'm glad you proud you got 11%, man. But no, I got my own." And people be shocked when you tell them you got your own. You got your own. Like, yeah, man. When you act like when you take a look, like I'm bored. I got this gray hair, man. I ain't get this gray hair for nothing, man. I done earned this gray hair, man. I got my own rate, man. Don't come talk about 11%, man, on a car. Man, come on, man. These cats are a trip out here. But, hey, check them out, 4.9% on the auto loans. And now we moving into Buffalo Bills update. J-GILLZ, your impression of the Bills at training camp so far?
Man, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Josh Allen's been looking electric. I've been there a couple of days. I haven't been there every day, but I haven't seen him throw an interception yet. I haven't seen him throw an interception yet. I saw him accurate. I saw precision passes. I see the offense flowing. I'm really liking what I'm seeing on the defensive side. I like what I see, but it's just a lot of the same players, a lot of the same, pieces. So I still ultimately think that, like you said, I love that trade for Micah Parsons. I think they need that dominant defensive presence, but I ultimately need to see more from the defense. But offensively, I think that Joe Brady and his everybody eats mentality. I'm loving the tight ends that they have, the receiving corps coming together. But ultimately, it's going to be the same thing it is every year. It's going to be up to Josh Allen to put the team on his back and do what he needs to do if they want to make any noise in the AFC.
Absolutely. And what I'm seeing, too, is a more relaxed Josh Allen. He seems under control. He's obviously no doubt who the leader of the team is. He's out there giving instructions. I like what I'm seeing from Josh Allen, the MVP from last season. The fans out there hollering MVP every day as well. They got big crowds out there each day at practice. The key notes that the Radman is seeing, the Bills have gotten bigger in their tight end. Their tight ends and their linebackers are the two things I noticed are the two big differences right now. The tight ends are much bigger. They're faster. I can't wait to see Dawson Knox on the cut list, man. Dawson Knox, man, you just get paid too much money. You haven't done – what have you done for us in the last 2 years, Dawson Knox? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, man. You don't block downfield. You don't catch passes. Man, now we got guys 6'7". This Kaliki Latu. Coming out of the University of Washington. He was at the University of California, Berkeley previously, but he finished up at the University of Washington. This kid can get down the field, very fluid, tall, and Josh Allen, they've been running bubble screens with him. They've been running a lot of different pass plays with Kaliki Latu, and I had a chance to speak with him, and here's what he had to say when I had a chance to speak with Kaliki Latu.
Welcome to the Rochester area and the Buffalo Bills. And I'm wondering what has it so far with training camp? Did things surprise you so far?
Yeah, I feel like nothing surprised me yet. It's come up and show the standards that it's been set for the Bills Mafia or it's the Bills organization, and I feel like I've been trying my best to uphold it. Stay consistent every day. Like show that these veterans that I'm not just rookie. I'm here to like compete with everyone and show my place in this team.
Absolutely. And coming from the University of Washington, and then you also played a couple other stops along the
Yes,
way,
sir.
but especially at the Washington, I see they're using you a lot
Yes,
out
sir.
there. You're getting a lot of bubble screens, and also, how does that feel? How does that feel so far to get used awful lot?
Yeah, it feels great. Being versatile, not only being put on the line, but out on the wide, in the receiver stance. I feel like I could play every spot. My whole goal is to be like a balanced tight end. Be used anywhere on the field, even on special teams. I'm trying to make myself known to Coach Tabor and his special teams crew.
Yeah, because how's that? Because you were on the line, I noticed a couple
Right.
times, and so they expecting you to.
Yes, sir.
You don't even have to jump, really. You can just.
Yeah, I just stand up right there. My vertical like height just wins every time.
And what's your actual size? You're 6 what?
6'7".
6'7"?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think we were a little bit over to the side. Sure thing, sir. But with your 6'7" size, how do you feel using that on as a receiver as well?
I feel like it's an advantage and disadvantage. Advantage, like I'm gonna get that vertical ball if they throw it up and get it every time. But also there's a height gap. Guys playing low, they can strike me, and I just got to make sure I play low. And then it's hard being tall. You feel like you're playing low, but you're not low enough. So I just got to continue to work on that and to be able to be low to the ground so I can make my route smooth, and also be able to block.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And also with your brother being drafted 16th overall, and that, how did that for growing up? Did you have you think about playing football? Is he helping you to say, hey, maybe I might want to do this as well? Or?
Yes, sir. He was for sure a role model for me. I grew up always going to his practices every day, and I was waiting for my mom to tell me when it was my turn to play. And when I did, I just took a full advantage. And I was just playing. And then it took me to this level, the greatest of the greats. And I just want to be able to show them that I have that passion and that God-willing ability.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, J-GILLZ. That was Latte Kaliki Latte, and his brother was drafted 15th overall by the Indianapolis Colts, a defensive end. He was highly recruited, so he's following in his brother's footsteps, as he said, and he's he's really producing and showing a lot out there at the training camp.
Oh, absolutely. One of the many tight ends, as you stated, that has that size. He has that just that girth. Like he's really a beast, man. When you look at it, he can block, he can run. He's something that the Bills are definitely missing with him being so athletic. So I think that that he's going to be a good addition to this offensive line, the receiving core, all of that for the Bills.
Absolutely. And we talked to another tight end, another 6'7", 6'8" guy, Zach Davidson. I thought Zach Davidson would have got more time last year as we got into the playoffs. You would have seen more of him last year. But hey, he's already showing out in training camp for this year. And let's hear what he has to say about the upcoming season.
How's it go? You got a taste of playing last year. I thought you might have got more. In my book, I thought you would have had more playing time last year, but that's how it goes. Mm-hmm. How do you feel so far going into this season?
I feel fantastic. I was super appreciative of Bean and McDermott keeping me around last year after an injury. Mm-hmm. Just allowed me to get strong and continue learning the game the best I can. My opportunities came, and I took the most advantage I could of them. Mm-hmm. And it's not my decision on who plays, but it's my job to stay ready, and I felt like I did that. This year, feeling great. Made sure I came to camp in shape and just competing my ass off, really. Just trying to make a role for myself and continue to stack days. All I can do is approach the next play. I can't worry about the last play.
Absolutely. I see you guys on special teams, maybe on the defensive front, maybe attempting to block field goals or
punts for sure. I've got a couple blocks in my future. I can feel it. I've been working on keeping my hands in front of my face and just really approaching the block point, and then also working on my coverage and pad level. I need to make a couple tackles this preseason just to show I can and I'm willing. That's been a challenge I've set for myself, and I look to achieve it.
Wow, that's impressive. So that it sounds like you've been working on it for quite a while now.
Yes, sir. Spending that year out for injury, I really was able to evaluate.
And with that, and with working, with that you're out, you working and studying, and what were some of the things you did on a regular basis while you were out for that year recovering from the knee injury?
Outside of the actual recovery for my knee, I continued going to meetings, challenging myself to know the game plan, even though I wasn't partaking in practice or the game, just making sure I knew the X's and O's that Joe had been preaching, and even the special teams coach, just staying locked in mentally. That was a huge challenge being out, and it helped me personally. Also being around the guys, we got a great group, not just in our tight end room, but the whole team. There's a camaraderie from top to bottom, and super grateful to be around, and it helped me stay positive in my recovery and come back faster and stronger.
Absolutely. There you have it. That was Zach Davidson. Keep an eye on him. He's talked a lot about special teams. Both of these guys are being used on the special teams. So when we watch the first game next weekend, the Bills' home game against the Giants preseason game, watch for these two tight ends to be lined up on the defensive side on field goal attempts and also possibly on kickoffs and other parts of the special. As you heard, both of them talk about their special teams work. Because you want to make the team, you got to make the team also being versatile, and also not only being a receiver and a blocker on offense, but also on the special teams. These guys are big. The Bills trying to get bigger. Dalton Kincaid has some type of injury right now. It looked like a calf or something. But he's slowly starting to come back. Dawson Knox has definitely had a calf injury. He just has been cleared to practice earlier this past week. So he just gotten in the pads, and he really hasn't been in the flow of things. These other tight ends have a good head start on them, getting work out. So in the preseason games, watch for Kaliki Latu, number 83, and number 84, Zach Davidson. Watch for these two guys. Also, Jackson Haas, number 85. He's another rookie, a draft pick that they brought in as well. And Matt Sokill, number 87. He's more of a meathead, a hard-nosed lunch pail blocking type of tight end. So that tight end room has gotten bigger and more physical. J-GILLZ, it's going to be interesting to see how this transpires, correct?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. It's going to be a vital piece to the offense.
Absolutely. And those are my diamond in the roughs on the Kaliki Latu and Zach Davidson are my diamond in the roughs on the offensive side. My diamond in the rough on the defensive side is defensive back Jordan Hancock from Ohio State. I've seen him play in college many times in big games for Ohio State, and you could tell he's learning the Bills' defense, learning where he needs to be, and he's starting at the last couple of practices. I noticed he's starting to see where he needs to be. He can play corner, he can play safety, nickel back, the whole 9 yards. Let's hear what Jordan Hancock had to say.
How's it going for you? And coming from Ohio State, and is this what you thought it would be so far for training camp?
Oh yeah, it's beating all my expectations. I'm getting coached by the best. I'm getting mentored by the best. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to feel the camaraderie with the fans and everybody.
How is it with Buffalo? Always people say it feels like family.
Yeah.
How, is that true?
Yeah, it truly feels like family. Like Ohio State had a community like this, but not to this extent, because Buffalo is just everyone there. So it's a great community. I feel all the love already.
What's the keys do you feel for your success this coming season?
Just going hard, taking the coaching, making sure I'm in my playbook, making sure I'm taking the hard coaching. I'm getting mentored by the best. So make sure you apply that to the field.
And for you playing in a lot of big games in your college career, do you feel that helps you at this level?
Yeah, absolutely. Playing with the fans and everybody, it just gives me an extra boost for sure.
All right. And goals for this last question, goals for this training camp?
Our goals for training camp is getting better every day, studying my playbook, just knowing my playbook fully.
Beautiful.
Yep.
There you have it. Jordan Hancock, number 37. Keep an eye on number 37, Jordan Hancock. It's gonna be interesting to see him out on the field. Has excellent range. I think he's gonna make a difference in this defensive secondary. And J-GILLZ, who you had a chance to interview, a guy that coming back to the Bills.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But also with Hancock, he'll have with the first round pick Maxwell Harrison going out with that injury. He'll have plenty of opportunities to really show himself, improve himself to try and get some rotation. But I had the pleasure of interviewing a longtime Bill who ended up leaving but came back to the Buffalo Bills, cornerback Dane Jackson. And man, we had just talking about his triumph with his injury. How his faith is just molded him into who he is. Had an excellent interview, Radman, Dane Jackson.
All right. Let's go to that.
Man, what does it mean to be back in Buffalo?
It means a lot, man. It means a lot. This is where it all started. Back with the guys who I put in a lot of work with, and we had a lot of success on the field. So it means a lot. It feels good.
Absolutely. Is there any major difference? I know you ain't been going that long, but is there any major difference that you see now with this defense and obviously different defensive coordinator?
Not too many differences. You know what I mean? There's small details for sure. You know what I mean? That we're tweaking to try to put us in a better advantage on the field, but it's pretty much a lot similar.
Absolutely. You know, what has your faith played for you, you know, just thus far, getting to this point? How has your faith, you know, brought you out of any terrible storms or any
Oh, man, it's huge, man. Like, I lean on my faith. I lean on guys who are big in their faith as well, like Christian and Taryn. I mean, ever since I was a youngin', my great-grandma, I'll never forget, you know what I mean? She showed me pretty much everything that had to do with faith, you know what I mean? Like, leaning on the Lord, diving in the word, and trusting and relying on it, and it'll bring you a lot brighter days for sure.
Is there anything that you do during the season that, you know, outside of, you know, Sundays, you can't be going to church on Sunday, maybe on Zoom, but what do you do? Is it listening to music, read a specific scripture?
Yeah, I read not specific scripture, but I read scripture every night, you know what I mean? Listen to music, go to Bible study, the pregame, chapel, all that type stuff, you know what I mean? Just so I could make sure I'm standing around that community of followers as well.
How was it bouncing back from that injury you had here in Buffalo that's coming back from that so quickly?
Which one?
A couple years ago.
Oh, when I got cut off the field. Yeah. I mean, it was good. Luckily, it wasn't anything too severe. You know what I mean? I didn't need any surgery or anything like that. So I was able to. I think I missed one game and then came back, and I was able to come back to full health. So thank the Lord as well.
Exactly. Last but not least, how was it going other places, playing with other teams, and then coming back to Buffalo? What's the difference between Buffalo and some of these?
It's a different, man. It's just a learning curve, learning experience. You know what I mean? You get new experience. You somewhere for 4 years and then you leave and go to a whole new system, you know what I mean? It's going to be a change in itself, you know what I mean? So this being back here where it all started, like I said, being around the guys that I'm most comfortable with, and it's being able to come out here and have fun. Yes, sir, no problem.
So
Appreciate
much,
y'all, man.
Excellent interview, J-GILLZ with Dane Jackson. Excellent opportunity. Dane Jackson's been here before. He had that scary neck injury where his neck got bent back, and I was on a Monday night game. That was the same game that our main guy was also injured. But Bills had 2 or 3 guys carted off on that Monday night game against, I believe that was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Davis White?
No, the safety. He just retired last season.
Jordan Poyer. No, Micah Hyde. Micah
Hyde. Thank you, Micah Hyde. Yeah, Micah Hyde. And it turned out Micah Hyde had a more serious injury than Dane Jackson in that day. But Dane Jackson knows the system, and you can see he's working with the younger guys. They have a lot of defensive backs that they brought in that I think can definitely help the team this season. And Taylor Rapp losing some weight. He dropped some weight, and he looks quicker. He looks more assertive in his defensive calls, his signal calling on the secondary. It even looks more intense. He looks more prepared to make the call, as well as Cole Bishop. Cole Bishop, the rookie from last year. You can see it. You can see the little bit of growth from last year with him as well. So I expect this secondary to make a difference this year, J-GILLZ.
Oh, most definitely, but I'm not all the way bought in yet on the secondary. I'm just gonna have to see it, man. Last year we had the same hopes. We relied on Taylor Rapp last year. You know, Teron Johnson is probably about the best player back there. Mm-hmm. You know, and to me, I love Teron Johnson, but you're gonna need more, man. You're gonna need more.
You definitely going to need more. And to keep in mind, Kansas City only scored 30 points once. They only scored over 30 points once the entire season, and that was against the Bills in the playoffs. And that game was tied at 29-29, and you let it get away because your defense, the head coach, you got to be able to make the proper calls on defense and have your proper guys in there. If a guy's hurt, get them out, have somebody else in there that can play. Because once Christian Benford went down with the concussion, the reoccurrence of the concussion in that game, it seemed like they were able to pick on that corner and make a difference. But I think you got some veteran guy, and Derek Forrest coming over from the Washington Commanders. We're going to talk with him this coming week, Derek Forrest, to see how he fits in there. I see him out there. Haven't seen him make any plays yet or But somebody's going to have to step up because Maxwell Harris didn't look like he's going to be out a while. So this is going to give some of these other younger defensive backs and also the guys coming over at Forrester an opportunity to get a starting position or definitely see more playing time. Right, J-GILLZ?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. For sure.
Because it's going to come down to Sean McDermott. Can you win the big game? He's starting to remind me of Marty Schottenheimer. Not the Marty Schottenheimer that's now the dad. That's his son. That's his son that's now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But the father, Marty Schottenheimer, he had LT in them with the San Diego Chargers, and he just couldn't. He had Phillip Rivers. He had LT. I mean, he had Sayal was still playing. They had a hell of a team. They just couldn't get over the hump. He also was in Cleveland with Brian Sipe and those guys back in the day. Marty Schottenheimer Jr. played for the Buffalo Bills in the 60s. He was offensive lineman. He became he's an excellent old guy. He knew he had a great winning record with Cleveland Browns, with the Chargers, but he just couldn't win the big game, J-GILLZ. And that's what McDermott looks like to me, man. He can win games during the regular season, but he just can't, when the money's on the line, leave his behind at home, J-GILLZ. Right,
Nah,
J-GILLZ?
you're right. Well, next week we're gonna find out, man. Week 1 preseason, and then you got a couple preseason games, and we're going straight into the season. And it's gonna be the Bills, I believe, have the easiest schedule in the National Football League. So it'll
right
be very
now,
tempting.
before injuries. Now, people aren't injured yet, but right now
True.
on paper. But when injuries start happening and things change, those schedules change during the season too, J-GILLZ.
That's true. That's true. But for what it is right now, hey man, we gotta give them credit. They rolling with the MVP. They gotta do what it do, man. They gotta do what it do.
And the referees were in town this week. Sherm Smith, I'm going to probably get that on in a couple of weeks, was in town. Good to see him again. But I didn't know. They're not going to have the guys out there with your chains this year. They're going to have some type of infrared marker which is going to mark the ball. So that the chain gang is not going to be out there, I don't think, from what he was saying, actually measuring for first downs anymore, man. I don't like that. We're going to discuss. I don't like that at all, man. They put
AI taking over. AI taking jobs, even in the NFL.
Every time the Bills lose in the playoffs, here they come wanting to change the rules, man. I don't know what it is. Unbelievable. And here's, let's bring in a man that's not afraid of spending money. BacSpin, this man be spending money, y'all. He got to go down there and talk to Jerry Jones about spending some money down there in Dallas, man. What's going on, BacSpin, with your boy down there in Dallas don't want to pay?
Because Jerry has that shut up and dribble mentality. That's all it's about. He don't like the way Micah's speaking out. And, this is his team. And the Cowboys won't get any better until Jerry's out of the picture. And that's just my opinion. Micah Parsons is a hell of a player. He's the heart of our defense, and if he's gone, I really don't know what that defense will look like. But I won't be sad. I'll be sad to see him go. But one good thing about if he does go, it'll relieve us in some of the cap space. You know what I mean? Because if we pay him, we gonna be tight. Like, money gonna be tight. The money that he wants, that he deserves, is gonna tighten our belt. So, if he does go, I think we could get some top draft picks out of it. If we sell high, we need to do it now if we're gonna do it.
Yeah, and how can you have a conversation on the field with the man and then tell the media that, I spoke to him and he all right? Man, how you can't?
Micah Parsons will let you know. He'll let you know if he all right or not. So he requested a trade. Maybe this is a ploy with him and his agent to try to get Jerry and the Cowboys to come to the table. But again, if he goes, it'll be sad to see him go. It really would.
Absolutely. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the show on YouTube and Facebook at Real Deal Sports Show. Hit the bell icon for notifications. We appreciate all your comments and suggestions, and continue for our new subscribers. Thank you so much. And hey, everybody, remember to continue to be a good sport. And I hope Jerry Jones be a good sport and pay his people, and Mike Brown down there and old school guy. And it's the old school guy. Pay your people, man. Pay Trey Hendrickson. Come on.
No doubt. That's the Real Deal Sports Show. The Radman, the Fanatic, J-GILLZ. Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the Beat 105.5. Keep it where you need it. Rochester, New York. The Back in Time Mix Show is on the way.